Om Shri Sai Ram. I offer my most humble pranams at Bhagwan's lotus feet. Dearest Swami, respected elders, dear brothers and sisters. Just imagine one morning, you go take a seed, put it in a pot, cover it up with soil, and pour a mug of water. And in the next instant, a plant starts coming out. The shoot starts growing. It pops out leaves. It grows from a few inches to 1 foot, grows a flower. The flower bears a fruit. What would your reaction to this be? I am sure that I will be just stunned. Possibly I would not be there to see it bear the fruit also, because as I see this plant coming, I'll be running and calling everyone and saying, look, 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 look. There's a miracle that's happening. There's a miracle that's happening. It's miraculous. It's phenomenal. I just put a seed and there's a plant now. Within a minute of me putting the seed and putting some water. It's a miracle. This will be a miracle for any normal person. Because a skeptic or a critic will say, no, there's something fishy here. There's something, it's a magic trick. Because there are stage magicians who do this. Who just put a hand over a pot and do this and the plant comes. So there are skeptics. So while majority will celebrate, there will be a few who will say, let me have a look at the pot. Once I confirm, then I will celebrate this event later on, that I witnessed a miracle. I don't want to prematurely celebrate only to know that my celebration was all hubris. It was all unnecessary. That is how it has been with Bhagwan also. For a majority of people, normal people, they come, they see Swami wave his hand and materialize a golden idol or a ring or a chain or a whatever. And they are stunned, they are thrilled, they have witnessed a miracle. But there are those who say that, no, maybe he has hidden it in his cuff. Maybe it's in his sleeve. One such was the revered Howard Murphet. And in fact, it is his book that drew a lot of Westerners to Swami, because he was one such critical Westerner. In fact, he pleaded with Swami for the opportunity to iron his robes. It was not a devotee's plea to come and touch with the object of the Lord. It was a scientific researcher's request for an object for examination. He wanted to check whether there are any pockets. And that is why he records in his book, Sai Baba, Man of Miracles, that when he was given a ring, in front of him, Swami came and lifted his sleeve up to his shoulder. Not up to his shoulder, up to his elbow. And he writes that possibly Swami knew what's in my mind. So he wanted to show that, look, there are no sleeves, there's nothing, and this comes. But for a large majority of us, the average person, something happening like this is amazing. That's why a few years back, when there were reports that Ganesha idols in certain areas are drinking milk, so many celebrated, newspapers reported it. Nobody said, hey, there's something fishy going on, let's investigate. There were a few who said that, but majority celebrated and accepted it. It's almost like somewhere deep within we believe that miracles do happen. But our definition of miracle varies. For instance, if I plant the same seed, and 4 years later when I come and I see a sapling, will I just say, oh my God, this is a miracle? No, I will not say that. A plant grew naturally. You put a seed, it will grow. So for me, miracle is something that must happen instantly. I plant the seed and out pops the plant and wow, that's a miracle. And such miracles have happened. I'm reminded of this particular experience, which is very amazing in many sense. The experience of Mr. Tyagarajan, His introduction to Swami happened in one such miraculous way. A instantaneous, spontaneous miracle where you pop in a seed and the tree is there. He was diagnosed with cancer, and the doctors called one of his daughters, who was also a doctor, and told her that, doctor to doctor, I'm telling you, it's better you take your father back home. Now, this is more than half a century ago. Nearly half a century ago. Cancer research, medicine had not progressed as much it has progressed today. Today, at least, there is hope. That time, if you have cancer, it's almost as good as you're dead. It's only a matter of time. And so with that, he came back home, waiting for his end, spending his days in sorrow. In fact, he had taken a long medical leave for his treatment from his office, but every month he was required to furnish proof that he's still alive. He had to present himself to say that I'm still alive, please continue paying me. Because you never knew when he would go. It was in such circumstances that his daughter comes to him and says, Father, I had darshan of one person in Whitefield. They say he's God, and I saw him and I really feel he's God. I think he can help you. You should go to him. And the father said, listen, child, I have been worshipping this God, he named them, for decades now. If the gods to whom I have been loyal to for decades can't help me, how will a new God help me now, If I have made all my deposits in some bank and that bank is not ready to give me a loan, why will a new bank give me a loan? That was his kind of logic. Why will the new God help me? I have not done any loyalty and no puja, nothing towards this God. Other gods I have done and they are not helping me. So he said, I am not interested in seeing this new God of yours. And he didn't go for darshan. See, when God decides that it is time for you to come to him, no force on earth can stop that, Because what happened is, he gets a call from his head office and he's wondering, what is this about? I have already given proof that I'm still alive. Why are they calling me again? It's his boss. And his boss says, we've got a very important client who has come over from abroad, some Westerner. Okay. He has come with a very strange request. He wants to see a certain Sai Baba, it seems. And that Sai Baba apparently is in Bangalore. Since you're in Bangalore, is it possible that you'll help him to have this darshan of this Sai Baba? This much can you do for the office. So he agreed. And even as he agreed, he just felt, hey, this is possibly a way of a message, a sign from God. So he felt a little hopeful. Who knows? Because I didn't want to go, still I'm being made to go. So he landed up with this gentleman at Brindavan in Whitefield. And as he entered the ashram, the sight that he saw completely demoralized him. Because he saw Swami walking back into the bungalow gates and the gates were being closed. He did not see it realistically, he saw it metaphorically. He felt, even God has shut his gates on me. And he went in, they said, no, it's over, darshan, everything over, tomorrow you come. So he told his other gentleman, what do we do now? The other gentleman said, come, let's sit here under the trees. There was no Sai Ramesh hall, it was all a beautiful garden there with trees and an arcade. And so they sat under one of the trees, just enjoying the breeze and sitting there for a while. After about half an hour, suddenly the gate opens and this Sai Baba comes walking out. So everybody is now alert. There are very few people left because everybody has left. Today Whitefield is part of Bangalore. Even when I had my first darshan in 1990, Whitefield was almost like going to a neighboring town. Today Bangalore, like many other cities in India, has grown so huge that Whitefield is very much in Bangalore. So everybody had left because they had to go back to the city. Very few were there and Swami starts coming straight towards them. and calls out, hey, Mr. Tyagarajan thinks Swami must be calling out to the other person. No, because he is the devotee, I am not the devotee. I am just accompanying. And then Swami says, you Tyagarajan. Me? Who? What is this? And the first sentence he heard from Swami in his life was, the doctors tell that you have got cancer. I am saying you don't have. Your cancer has been cancelled. He lived for 3 decades after that. 3 decades after that. In fact, on one occasion, when Dr. Ravi Kumar in a Trai session was narrating this episode, Swami stopped him and said, you know, recently, the doctor who told your father that he won't live for 2 months more, he's passed away. Your father is still there. And later on, when Dr. Ravi Kumar found it out, he found that it was indeed true. The family doctor who had told that he had only 2 months to live had actually passed away, and his father lived for many years after that. The way his father passed away was magnificent. It happened in Prashanti Nilayam. Morning he woke up, got ready for darshan, dressed up, walked down, and before entering the darshan hall, he went to the main gate of Yajur Mandir and he did Satsang Pranam, never to get up from there again. That was the way Mr. Tyagarajan gave up his life. But yeah, coming back to the miracle, it was instantaneous. That's a miracle. Everybody, wow, this is a miracle. The same thing if he takes medication, takes vibhuti, drinks water and lives on the name of the Lord, and 2 years later he is cured. It's not so dramatic, you know. So yeah, we'll also technically say, so that the person doesn't feel bad, yeah, miracle really, God's blessing, God's grace. Maybe cancer is too strong a disease, because cancer is so devastating that any kind of cure we find it miraculous. But if it's a lesser disease, for instance, you know, when my aunt had to undergo a cataract operation, a simple operation, she told me, you tell Swami, you please tell Swami that I'm undergoing an operation. And I found it very funny. I said, come on, aunt, you know, you want me to tell Swami about that you having a cataract operation? No, what's a cataract operation? Minimum, I feel for Swami, minimum tuberculosis, cancer, that level, it must be, right? Why cataract? It's a simple thing. But she was insistent, and in fact, I wrote in the letter also, dear Swami, my aunt, she says she has got cataract, this thing. Swami, actually, it's not a big problem. She just is very insistent that I must tell you, so I'm telling you, you know, like this I had written. But I was very amazed, because when Swami took the letter, he seemed so keenly interested in that. So Swami asked, oh, it's operation for your aunt. So I told Swami also, Swami, nothing much, Swami, it's only a cataract. You don't worry, you know. I was reassuring Swami. Swami said, no, see, what's happening is, she's getting so scared, because of which she's a blood pressure patient and her blood pressure is going high. Because of which doctors are testing and telling we can't do the operation. Now, I didn't know all this. I told it to her, this was precisely the case. She said, this is what is happening. You know, doctors, they're not telling what, but they're just telling me, you go take rest at home. We can't do the operation now. We can't, they're going on postponing. And I told her, Swami said this. 3 days later, her cataract operation was done, and it was a simple operation. So you see, Swami had not revealed this to me. And my aunt had told me, you know, I had a cataract operation, Abba, all Swami's grace. I would have thought, okay, fine, means, okay. So that you don't feel bad, I'll tell, yeah, Swami's grace. But in my mind, I'll think it's nothing big here. Don't make a big deal about a cataract operation. So you see, something that happens instantaneously and fast, wow, that is miraculous. Now take the same plant example. Now suppose you had planted that seed, and you planted another seed in another pot next to it. You come back after 1 year, you see that one of those has become a small sapling, the other has grown into a tree. Now you will still say, wow, this is a miracle, this is amazing. Same species, same seed, similar pot, same water, everything same. Wow, but look, this has become a tree, this is fantastic. This becomes a miracle because of the sapling by its side. If that sapling was not there, you would have put the seed. Next year you will come and see it's a tree. This is a fast growing tree. It happens. This grows very fast. In 1 year only it becomes a tree. This is what will be the conclusion. It is a comparison with the other sapling that makes this miraculous. Wow, this is a miracle. I would like to call this as a miracle because of our worldly knowledge. Even if there is no sapling to compare. If you are a botanist, suppose, you will come and you will see that a seed that you planted has become a tree. You will say, hey, this is a miracle. Hey, what is a miracle? When you plant a seed, it becomes a tree. No, I know I am a botany student. I know what is it. This can't grow like this. This can't. The fact that it has grown in 1 year is a miracle. There is something magical about this. So knowledge also makes us get the ability to recognize a miracle. Worldly knowledge. And it is actually this kind of worldly knowledge that made us aware of another miracle. This is the experience of a person called Praveen, Mr. Praveen, and he is currently heading he's directly reporting to the director of the super specialty hospital in Bangalore. In short, what is the miracle I'm talking about is Praveen got high marks in GRE. He was exempted from writing the TOEFL exam. He got a passport and visa to go to US. He completed education there and came back. This is the miracle. And when I tell that, what is the miracle in this? There are thousands who do this. There are hundreds who do this. Clear exams, get passport, get visa, go study, come back. What's the big miracle you're talking about? Once we get knowledge and awareness of the procedures involved, which I will narrate now, because when he came back, actually, that was in the year 2002, and when he said that, wow, I've finished this, I was thinking, what's the big deal? It was just like my aunt telling me that, my cataract, Swami's grace. But when you get to know the details and become aware of the procedures involved, knowledge comes and you feel, wow, this is a miracle. And I will narrate what happened. He had completed his master's in science, bioscience, won a gold medal from Swami's hands, and he wanted Swami to guide him what he should do further. Swami at first told him do a doctorate. He was in Puttaparthi trying to find a subject, a guide. That was when Swami called him one day for an interview with another boy, two of them. And Swami told both of them that, see, I want you to do a small course. They said, yes, Swami. But that course is not in India, it's in America. Oh, Swami, we don't want to leave you and go. So I will also be there with you. You don't worry. You finish and come. Swami wants this. Okay, Swami, we'll do that. Are you ready? Yes, Swami. But to do that course, you have to write one small exam. I have told certain so-and-so in Bangalore. He will help you. You go write the exam in Bangalore and come back to Parthi. Okay, Swami. Prepare well, because there's only 1 week for the exam. Okay, Swami. Go take the 8 o'clock bus right away. So they took the bus, went to Bangalore. That is when they got to know that the exam that Swami was referring to was the GRE exam. And for the GRE exam, which is considered very, very tough, you need a lot of preparation. So they were put up at Brindavan. They were making use of the Brindavan library, institute library, to help them in their preparations. In the meanwhile, this devotee suggested, why don't you enroll yourself to one of the coaching centers? There are many GRE coaching centers. So they said, yeah, great, we'll enroll. So they went there. And these coaching centers, in order to market themselves, what they do is, When you go there, they make you take a mock GRE test. Then they coach you, and then you take the actual GRE test. If you do well in the actual GRE test, your photo will come in the newspaper, and they'll tell, see, our classes did this. This fellow was a dud, he became brilliant because of us. So, they told them to take the mock GRE test. They scored something like about 400. It's out of 2,400. So, they got some 400 out of 2,400. Then they were offered the courses. They said, now do you want a 1-year course, a 9-month course, a 6-month course, or if you're really serious, a 3-month course? And Praveen said, I have to write it next week. I said, are you mad? I said, no, it's not possible at all. You can't write it in 1 week. At least not as our student, because you will ruin our reputation. Then Praveen told, Sathya Sai Baba, this, and he told everything about Swami. And this person apparently had a kind of bent of mind which made him susceptible to this kind of thing. And he said, oh, okay, fine, great. If you want, I'll allow you to use our facilities, but I really doubt. I won't allow you to sit as my student, not as our student, not as our class's student. Fine, if we can use your facilities and prepare, we are grateful to you for that. Okay, now, where's your passport? Passport? He didn't have passport. In those days, now the rules have changed. To write a GRE exam, you had to have a passport ready. No, you don't have passport. Then this person smiled. See, your Sai Baba can maybe, help you to use our facilities and all. But without passport, nothing. Sai Baba also can't do anything, You have to get a passport. Okay. So he decided to go and apply for the passport. Said, I'll come back. Let's use your facilities, but let's go. Let's try it. So they went back. Now, in the passport, you have to provide an address. For an address, you need an address proof. Praveen did not have any document because from childhood he has studied here. He doesn't have a document with him which states what is his permanent address. See, Aadhaar card, PAN card, all these are recent phenomena in India. There was nothing as an address proof. So the principal of the Brindavan campus wrote a letter saying that I'm so and so, the principal, and I am certifying to whomsoever it may concern that Praveen is indeed a person who is residing on this campus at this point in time. So this is the address proof that he had. Something is better than nothing. So with this he carried and went. Today the passport procurement procedure has become automated. You can do it online. It requires you to go to the passport office. Once I had gone, that's why I know it. And it's just a matter of 2-3 weeks you have your passport ready. 2-3 weeks today, in this day. In that time, definitely 1 month at least, if everything is in order. And so he goes to the passport office and of course, listening to what he has got to say and seeing his documents, the person says, no, I can't. No, this is not enough. You need to get everything in order before we give you a passport. That's when Praveen says, hey, listen, Sathya Sai Baba, and starts telling about Swami there. So this person says, see, I don't know this Sathya Sai, whatever, I don't know. You do one thing, you go to the head and you tell him whatever you want, but from my side, I can't do this. So Praveen says, thank you for this. Let me at least get to speak to the head. You gave me this opportunity, fine. So he goes to that person. And now this person is a devotee of Swami. He says, oh, yes, I know. Oh, Swami, oh, great. He says, see, sir, yesterday was my last day at work. For some reason, I got delayed and today I am working till afternoon. I think Swami gave me this opportunity to do seva for him. You don't worry, sir. Your passport will come by today evening. That is the last thing I will do before I leave this chair. So that afternoon, 2 things left that office. The head and the 2 passports. And Praveen landed up at this coaching center with the passport and that fellow's jaw dropped down. He said, what? How on earth did you get a passport in 18 hours? It's okay, you can now prepare and come. Yeah, you can use our material, but as I said, you're not our student. So fine. So Praveen went, they sat, he and his friend, they both sat and they prepared at Brindavan, prepared for the exam, landed up. Then they have to, apply. You have to apply for being a candidate for this exam. And when they called, they were told that, so for the next 10 days, only on one day, there are 2 seats available. When? The coming Thursday. Oh, book it. Thursday, wow. Praveen did not miss that connection, Thursday and Swami. So he went. So on the Thursday, both of them sat in front of the computer screen. It's a multiple choice question. So many times, Praveen saw that he had to do Sairam and tick some option because he has no idea. In his own words, he said, I felt like I was in a planetarium, seeing stars during daytime because, he said, I was just bowled out. I had no idea what it is. So I'm just ticking, selecting some things, and a few answers I knew. So those I wrote. Other things I didn't know what I'll do. And this GRE exam, once you finish it, in order to avoid any kind of confusion, corruption and all that, the moment you hit enter, your result comes up. That's it. That's final result. There's no correction and all that. Automatically, as you're being evaluated even as you fill in the answers. So with a lot of dread in his heart, he hit the enter key and he gets his score. 2080 out of 2400. And he gets up. I think that coaching center guy must have repented not taking him as a student. He could have been his biggest boast that in 1 week he brought up a guy from 400 to 2080. So Praveen just was elated. He had cleared the GRE exam. And after that, there itself, he was asked to apply. He applied to 6 universities. And when he was asked for the first choice, he didn't know. He said it was a gut feeling. He picked Loma Linda University. And guess what? The other boy also, out of gut feeling, had picked Loma Linda University. So they picked up Loma Linda University. And they were happy they returned. Swami was very happy. Swami blessed them. He said, yes, you go ahead. Now they had to get their visa for America. And those of you who have tried getting the visa for America, oh my God. You are scrutinized. So anyway, he had to apply for that. It was not as bad as now because the 9/11 attacks had not yet happened. Because of that, they had not yet become so strict in their scrutiny. So they thought it was indeed possible to get the visa. When he went to the visa office, the next day he had to go. There is a reason why I mentioned that September 11 had not yet happened. Because the day he left Puttaparthi to go to Bangalore to attend his visa interview was the 10th of September 2001. His interview was on the 11th of September 2001, the day when those aeroplanes smashed into the Twin Towers. And instantly US was on high alert. Everybody was scrutinized. Visas were just not being given. And Praveen was sitting at the consulate office in Chennai, got to know this news. He went there and he said it was not questioning, it was interrogation. Why on earth do you want to go to US? And Praveen thought, let me try again. Swami, devotion, bhakti. These were exactly the keywords that US was looking out for at that time. You can't say religion, love, peace, God and all and then get your visa. He was just stamped one big reject and sent out. Not getting your visa is one thing. Getting this reject is horrible because it meant that for the next 6 months you can't apply for a visa also. You can't even apply for a visa. That was when some devotees of Swami, took it up. S.M. Krishna, who was the Chief Minister of Karnataka, is Swami's devotee. Shankar Dayal Sharma, the Vice President of India, was Swami's devotee. Both of them wrote letters of recommendation for these 2 boys to the US consulate, asking them to grant their visa. The Secretary to the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu came back with a reply and he said, the US rules do not permit for application of visa before 6 months. Though the authorities are amazed at the influence that these 2 boys are having, they are sorry they can't issue the visa. This was the reply. So Praveen knew it's over, dejected that at the last step they failed. came back to Puttaparthi. And it was informed to Swami in the morning, Swami, the visas have not been granted, they can't go. Swami said, tell the boys that today at 3:30 they will get their visa. Now guess what happens? In the meanwhile, the US consulate, for some reason, in Chennai, is attacked. And there's also a news article about the same. 89 people had been arrested there. Some other causes. When it was attacked, they requested the government of India, they requested the government of Tamil Nadu for additional security and protection. In the world, only God gives things free. The air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat. Nobody loves us like God, because nothing else in the world comes free. You know what was the reciprocal request from the Tamil Nadu government? They said, we will give you protection, you issue these 2 visas. The US embassy guys, they were just stunned. They were thinking, what? Who on earth are these 2 guys? This was because the secretary to the chief minister was a devotee of Swami. And that's how their visas, at 3:15, he remembers the time even now, Praveen says at 3:15, they received the visas in Puttaparthi. 15 minutes before the time that Swami had given. And then it's an amazing story of how he went and completed the course, and I will skip that part now. But now you see, now when I tell, Praveen cleared an exam, he got his passport, he got his visa, he went to America and came back. Wow, that's a miracle, right? That's a miracle. Because knowledge makes us become capable of recognizing a miracle. Just like a botanist who sees a plant growing in 1 year is able to recognize the miracle, though none of us can. Because we feel, yeah, last year we planted the seed, it became a tree, it's natural. It can't. My knowledge tells me that it can't become a tree in 1 year. Since it has become, this is a miracle. That's what the botanist will say. But if you speak to a sage, if you speak to a saint, you speak to a person who has the ability to see the wonders around him or her, he will look at any tree and say, wow, this is a miracle. Recently, I became a father, and thanks to modern technology and the internet, I followed my daughter's growth not only after she was delivered, even before she was born, ever since it was confirmed that she is there. And just knowing what all happens, how 2 cells become this baby in a span of 9 months, my God, it is miraculous. You have explanations of how it is happening. Each and everything is detailedly recorded, how it is happening. But nobody knows why it is happening, because of which you can't replicate it. You just can't replicate it. Because I don't know why it is happening the way it is happening. I'll give reasons, yeah, this happened, this is a biochemistry involved, there's a chemistry involved, there's a biology involved, this is what happened, this comes, this is having this property. When it happens, where it happens, how it happens, I can explain. Why it happens, I have no idea. You have no idea at all, even to this day. That's why you just can't. You can't do it. You need it to happen in the most natural manner. This growth. And that is why I say, once you witness that, next time I see any child, now I have realized why it is said that a child is God's gift. Because it is not possible for anybody else to create a child but a miracle to create a child. However, whenever, whatever time the child is born, every child that is born is a miracle. Every tree that is growing is a miracle. But we don't recognize it because it takes time. If within 1 day a baby is delivered, we'll feel it's a miracle. But because it takes 9 months, it's natural. We feel happy I have seen so many babies before my own baby. I have laughed, I have played, I have done everything with the baby, but never have I felt a sense of wonder saying, wow, I am witnessing a miracle in front of my eyes. I have never felt that. Because naturally a baby is there, it's born. What's so great in that? There's no miracle in that. But once you are able to see and you realize that how much ever you study, you are not able to tell the why of it. Wow, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. My baby lifts the kerchief off her face, and for me it's, wow, how did you learn that? What's so big in taking a kerchief off your face? No big deal at all. But for me it's a miracle. And then I realized that so many things in life, I don't recognize as a miracle only because it took time. Because it took 4 months, because it took 4 years, because it took 20 years. I feel as is natural. I don't celebrate, I forget. I miss seeing the miracle in my life. In the year 1999, when I had joined the higher secondary school, my father had gifted me a camera, and it was my desire to shoot photographs of Swami. And I felt that this is the avatar, this is the Lord in human form. No other Lord, no other God has been photographed because technology had not caught up with divinity at that time. This is the opportunity, let me take as many pictures as possible. This was my desire, and so every day I would like to take the camera to the mandir. But in the hostel there were rules. In order to ensure that everybody doesn't get cameras, only students were allowed, students and staff were allowed to get cameras to the mandir. And in order to ensure that everybody doesn't get, each one had to get a permission slip from the warden. So the warden acted like some kind of a dam who will prevent crowding. So the institute warden would issue only 2 or 3 permission slips. The school warden would issue only 2 or 3. So on any given day, there are only about 6 or 7 photographers in the mandir. They didn't want trigger-happy people creating a nuisance in the mandir. So now this was one hurdle for me, the presence of other photographers in the hostel, because of which, by rotation only, I can get a chance to take the camera. The second hurdle, the first hurdle I thought I can clear by scamming and taking the camera. Hiding it under your armpit and taking it off. But the second hurdle would be the Sevadal volunteers at the gate. They will thoroughly scrutinize you and stop you and ask for that camera permission slip. So though you have escaped the hostel security, the mandir security catches you. On top of this, I had one additional problem. The warden had this peculiar method of punishing students, wherein he would find out what is most dear to you and deprive you of that. Say you do some talking in the class, you're caught for some indiscipline. To some he will tell you're not allowed to play cricket for the next 2 months. Because he knows that that boy loves cricket. For me it would be, he will not give me permission slip to get camera to the mandir. So I used to feel really, oh my God, no, I had no confidence on myself that I'll be perfectly disciplined throughout. Here and there something that I'll do, I love to talk, that's my strength and my weakness, I can't help it. So I'll get caught somewhere. And I'll lose the opportunity to get camera to mandir. This is what had happened. In fact, once I had a 2-month ban. 2 months I had not got camera to the mandir. That's another story, maybe I will narrate it some other time. But these were the problems that I faced. And I was thinking, how to get rid of all these problems? Swami, I just want to take your photograph. See how many obstacles I'm having. So I wrote a letter to Swami. I said, Swami, I want a miracle now. What's the miracle? Swami, I should be able to walk into this mandir with the camera. Nobody should ask me anything. Because the Sevadals are here problem for me, right? Nobody should tell me anything. And I should not require permission from anyone, especially the warden. If you are ready to grant this miracle to me, please accept this letter. And guess what? On that day, during darshan, Swami came and picked my letter and I was so thrilled. Wow! So the next day, I went to the hostel. Next day when I had to go to the mandir, I just picked up my camera bag and walked out. Nobody should stop me, right? Luckily, the warden was not there. He didn't see me. But I felt even if he sees me, big deal. Because Swami would have done the miracle. What? I don't know. It's a miracle. I can't explain why, how. But he would have done. Nothing should happen. So the warden didn't see me and I reached the mandir. I was feeling supremely confident. I walked into the gate and the Sevadal stops me. The volunteer stops me. And he says, where's the permission slip? I said, for what? He said, sir, camera. I've got permission. I want to tell him, I've got permission from the highest authority, man. Don't stop me. He said, sir, you may have permission, but our duty, if you have permission, you should have chit. Now how do I tell him? This is not permission from warden and all. Swami has permitted me. Yes, sir. Actually, sir, Swami permits everyone. But here I have been told that if warden permits only, I can allow. I was exasperated. I said, you want me to go back now to the hostel to leave the camera and come? No, you can leave it in the security office here. After darshan, when you are going, you take it back. You can't take it inside. So I had to leave my camera in the side room there, and as I sat in darshan when Swami came, I said, Swami, you didn't do the miracle for me. I had written clearly in the letter that if you are ready to do this miracle, only take the letter. Why you took the letter? You shouldn't have taken it. You didn't do it. Fine. That was what happened and I left it. After that, I had to. Throughout my student career, throughout my life as a student, I was totally dependent on camera chits from different wardens. I left it. I forgot about it also. This is what happens, we ask God for a miracle, and if nothing happens over the next few days or the next few weeks, we say, okay, leave it here. God didn't grant this prayer. We'll ask something else. We forget about it. So either God does it immediately, else it means He didn't do it, that's all. Correct, what else? That's how we take it. I left it. Now let me fast forward to 2010. 2010, it was the 20th of November. 2 days before the convocation ceremony. In fact, that was the last convocation that Swami physically was present for. And the chief guest on that day was Dr. Manmohan Singh, the Prime Minister of India. Heavy security, lot of protocol. It was madness, And I had to get so many badges and this and all, to get into the mandir as a photographer. Almost 4 policemen would search my bag, 3 dogs would sniff my bag, just to get the camera inside. Such security was there, naturally, the Prime Minister. And not only security on the ground, in the air also. Apparently, before or after the Prime Minister flies for 1 hour, the airspace is completely cleared. There are no aircrafts. Only a few birds are allowed to fly, because they fly low, that's all. If there was a possibility, they would have stopped that also, I think. Because on the road, that was how it was. Only thing that could go on the road were dogs, because they would go in between the policemen's legs and walk off. People, autos, cycles, bikes, cars, nothing could go. It was such a mess, such a troublesome thing. In fact, I used to think, no need, Swami, no need of VIPs to come. They come, it's trouble for us. Let some normal person only come. Anyway, the Prime Minister had to come. And on the 20th, Swami called me after bhajan. There only, he was seated there. He just called me and said, Prime Minister is coming. I said, yes, Swami. Tell all the children to be well dressed on that day. So I said, Swami, you want me to tell all of them? He said, yes. I said, immediately? He said, yes, immediately. Swami, shall I tell it in the mic? He said, no, not in the mic. Go to them individually and tell. So I said, Swami, after this session, I will go to each hostel and tell all the students. He said, yeah, okay. And, on the 20th of November, actually, there was an orchestra which wasn't allowed to perform for some reason. So Swami spoke something here about the orchestra and different things. And finally he said, hey, tomorrow, when Prime Minister comes, how are you going to dress? So, same, right? White. Swami said, wear a tie, wear a suit properly, okay? Swami told. So I remember on the 22nd of November, I was in suit, the tie, and it was amazing. What a feeling it was for me. Everywhere. Swami went with the Prime Minister to the interview room. I could go there. Nothing. And I mean, no place was off limits in spite of the heaviest security. Took all the pictures. It was amazing, and I felt very, 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 very special. And a few months back, when I was going through my diary entries of this day, something hit me. I realized that the 22nd of November was possibly the highlight of my photography career. But that was not the only instance. I looked back at the several years before that. See, I get goosebumps even now as I'm speaking. I realized that for almost 4 or 5 years, I had actually got my prayer answered. There was nobody who would question me, why are you walking into the mandir with the camera? Nobody to stop me, nobody's permission slip I had to get. But I had thought it was only natural, because I am working in Radio Sai Global Harmony, which is the digital media center, whatever, for Swami. And so it is natural. I am a photographer, I am allowed. See, this is what happens. We miss a miracle because it happens slowly over time. Imagine Swami takes the letter and says, yeah, I am going to grant you your boon. He grants it 6 years later. And he feels sad because you know what? You are not recognizing it's a miracle. Because you feel, it's natural that it should happen. Why on earth should it happen to you? I looked back. For possibly the first time in my life, I traveled with Swami to Hadshi, to Delhi as his official photographer. And I felt it is natural. Yeah, it is lucky, it's very nice, but yeah, natural. I'm a photographer, I'm working in Radio Sai, so naturally it took me. No, it is not natural. Anything that is natural is also miraculous. Look at the tree standing there. It's natural. It is not natural, it's a miracle. It's a miracle if you get to know all the things that have happened for a tree to grow. A child growing there, it's natural. It is not natural. Get your own child and you'll realize why it's a miracle. Everything that we consider natural is a miracle going on only if we have the eyes to see. If we have the patience to wait. Patience is so important because time is important. Because God is not in a hurry. He doesn't want to show off. He does it in an instant. It's actually everybody notices. So if I was God, because I'm egoistic, that means I can't be God. But anyway, imagine if I'm egoistic and I'm God, I would have done all my things instantly, because then you will all admire and you will come and follow me. When you say, oh Lord, there's no rain, I'll make the cloud come only over your house and rain will come, and you'll be, whoa, okay. Correct. That's right? In other words, what God does? God sends rain for the whole city over there. And if you'll nothing. Because it's not my prayer. The meteorology department already predicted, this is the humidity, this month, this happened. So what if the rain came because of a build-up of relative humidity and because of something? How did that happen? Why that had to happen now? We have been wanting rains and rains have come now. But we don't give credit to God because, come on, the Indian meteorology department already predicted anyway that we are going to get rain. So we got rain. You think the Indian meteorology department is sending you rains? Why didn't they predict that last year then? Why it didn't come? It requires us to open up our eyes and more importantly our heart to understand that every moment of our life miracles are happening left, right and center. Everywhere around. Just that they're happening slowly. Just because they happen slowly, aren't they miracles? And when we pray to God, let's be very, very careful. Because God grants our wishes. That's what I've realized. As I look back at my life, many prayers which I thought God has not answered, God has forgotten or God doesn't care for that prayer, is getting answered. In fact, some of the prayers I have made at that time in my immaturity, I don't want them answered now, but they got answered. Because as I have grown up in 10 years, I have realized that is stupid. I don't want that. I wanted it 10 years back. A 4-year-old child wants a toy with a wheel, a toy car, 60 rupees. And the child will say, this is all I want, nothing else I want. This is the best thing in the universe. 20 years later, the same child wants another toy, which is 60 lakh rupees. It's a real car with 4 wheels and, big one. Usually our growth is only that much, from a 60 rupee car to a 60,000 rupee car, that's all. We still want earthly toys. But now when the child is 25-year-old, you tell, you had asked for the car, right? Here, take. Hey, I don't want this here. I want that car. You asked for it. Because with God, every prayer we make will get answered. It may take time. Every prayer answered is a miracle. It may be a fast one, it may be a slow one, but it is a miracle. How much more careful we should be what we ask God. Let's not ask God something about which we will repent 10 years from now. About we will repent 15 years from now. And say, oh God, this is not what I wanted. Actually, I wanted this. And I feel this is the reason why God does some of His miracles slowly. This is my opinion, that's all. I feel because God wants to show us that you fool, you see what you have asked for. Because if we are given a toy car when we asked for it, we'll just play with it for some time and forget it. If we are denied that toy car and 20 years later told, take, this is a toy car you wanted, I'll say, no, I don't want toy car here. I've grown beyond, I don't want it. It's too silly. You only asked for it. You said this was your life. You didn't eat food because you didn't get this. And you realize how foolish I have been going behind the toy car. And possibly that will help us not to go behind the other toy car that I am now seeking. Because the time will come when I feel how foolish was I. I spent my time, energy and everything going behind that car. I don't want that. Possibly to show us our own foolishness. Possibly to make us evolve in our desires. Because Swami says, in your life, have only one desire. Seek that, seeking which you will never have to seek again. And then God will immediately give you that. That will be a fast miracle. But it takes time. It takes time to recognize what is that, seeking which I will never have to seek anything again. What is that if I get, I will never want anything else ever in my life or in my future lives? What is it? And this I am speaking not only of having a theoretical knowledge, but having conviction and knowing that this is the only thing I seek. Because theoretically I think all of us know what is it that we seek. This is what I want. But that's only theoretical. Because the moment we lose some money and God says, anyway you don't want money, right? You want this. You say, no. I want that, but let the money also be there. No, why you want to take away money? God takes away our family and friends and says, you don't want family, friends, right? You want this. No, God, this I want, but along with family and friends, I want it. So ours is only a theoretical knowledge of what we want. But once we come to the conviction, this is the only thing in life that matters. This is the only thing that's going to give me peace. This is the only thing that is going to give me happiness. And this is what I seek. God will give it. That will be a fast miracle, I assure you. 100% it will be a fast miracle. And as I said, if we are ready to open our eyes and keep our faith, we will see miracles happening all around. I'll possibly conclude with one more little incident, when I was thinking, why doesn't God perform miracles for everybody in life? Because Swami, see, if you give everybody a miracle, everybody will become your devotees. Simply you'll give some 3 people miracles, everybody have to read about that, listen about that, and then it's so tough, no? Give each one a miracle. What, you can do everything, right? You tell it's so easy for you to change earth to sky, sky to earth. Then change it, man, change it. Show it. People become devotees. And as I was thinking like this, I came across a book. I've never found the book ever since, but that book was about a person called Len and his dreams. So it was a kind of a part fiction, but with a lot of messages. Some Len chip-based dreams or something like that. I've tried searching on the internet for that book, never found that book. But I found that book there. And when I opened, randomly, the page I landed up was a page on which Len in his dream is telling God, God, why don't you perform a stupendous miracle so that everybody listens to you, everybody follows you? I said, wow, Len, this is the same question I was asking my God also. God says, yeah, Len, that's a great idea. Tell me what miracle I should do. Len says, it should be something dramatic, drastic, unimaginable. God says, yeah, tell me what is that? I'll do it. He says, for example, God, and it should also be universal. Not just 5, 10 people. Everybody should notice. Okay, Len, tell me what is it? See, when you get up in the morning, for instance, let the whole sky be purple, maroon, pink, and whole ocean also be that color. Everybody will notice. Let it be bright red possible. Something like that. all the sky and ocean changes of color into some other color. God says, Len, that will not work actually. Why? Sometime back, one of you ladies only had said that make the whole sky, originally sky was actually red only. That was how it was. Sky and water. Somebody said you make it blue, it will be a miracle. I made it, but now you have got explanations for it. Now you don't find it miraculous. You walk out and see the sky, it's blue. You don't find it miraculous. You say it's because of dispersion. Blue disperses the least among the spectrum, and that's why you see it blue. So sometimes I paint it orange, pink, maroon. Why? I paint all the colors. You still have got some explanations. You don't think it's a miracle only. What do I do? It won't work this way, Len. Len also suddenly says, yes. How many times have we not seen the ocean purple, the sky blue, the sky pink, the sky maroon, the sky yellow, the sky... Every color that we have possibly conceived, the sky has been in that color sometime or the other. And I have personally seen it. I have even Googled and seen, why is the sky looking this? Why is the sky? I have never thought, wow, it's a magic of God. It's the universal painter just spreading his paintbrush. I never think like that at all. And God goes on to say, Len, do you know that at this very moment there are people dying because they're not able to take a breath? Why are you being able to take a breath? Why? Same thing. Same age, same height, everything same. This person is unable to take a breath. This person is able to take a breath. Do you know it's a miracle? It's a miracle that you're able to take breath. Len, when you have that faith, every moment of your life is a miracle. I'm sitting here, taking breath. Aram se, I'm able to speak. What my mind is conceiving, my mouth is able to deliver. Wow, it's a miracle. Why it should happen? Because there are people for whom it doesn't happen. There are people who are unable to digest food. There are people who are unable to speak. There are so many things. These things we take it for granted. I take speech for granted because possibly I took 6 years to learn how to speak. Just because it happened over 6 years, is speech any less a miracle? When Swami had gone to Chennai, I'll conclude with this because I'm very tempted. It's recorded in the Satyam Shivam Sundaram. In the middle of his discourse, he called out one boy and said, hey boy, what's your name? And everybody said, oh Swami, what a mistake. Because this boy was deaf and dumb. He was born deaf. And those who are born deaf become dumb automatically. They're not able to speak because we learn how to speak only because we listen. We hear. If we don't hear and listen, we can't learn to speak. That was the problem with even Helen Keller. It's not, you can't be born dumb, actually, because you have a tongue, everything is fine. Just that you can't hear. If you're born deaf, you'll automatically not learn speech. So this was a deaf and dumb boy. And Swami had asked him, what's his name? To the astonishment of the people there, that boy said, Venkatramana. And everyone was like, woo. In fact, Kasturi Garu records in Satyam Shivam Sundaram that the next day, Swami had to leave by the back door because outside the front door of the host's house where he was staying, there was a full line of mothers with their handicapped children. So that's a miracle. Why? Because they all wanted a miracle. What is a miracle? The deaf and dumb boy speaking and saying Venkatramana. A child which is unable to speak anything beyond gurgles, make sounds, make nonsense noises, learns to speak 4 languages proficiently. I feel the Mandarin language, the Chinese language is possibly the most complicated on the earth. That's what I feel. Maybe they feel the same about Hindi, the Chinese people. But I feel like that about Chinese. And I found out that to get some basic grasp of the language, 4 years of intense study, I can get it. I can get some kind of mastery in Chinese. And I was wondering, look at the baby of the Chinese mother. No coaching, nothing. Speaks flawless Chinese in a matter of 4 years. How? That's not natural. That's natural. What natural? That's a miracle. A miracle which happens slowly, we think it's natural. If we are able to reverse our perspective, I think our lives will be more joyous because whatever that's happening naturally, we will realize that they are miraculous. And before I conclude, let's remember to be careful of what we seek from God. Because whatever we seek, we get. It may take time, but we will get it. So let's be very, very careful and seek that, seeking which we'll never have to seek again. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.